Alright, what's up guys? So, it's kind of been a minute, but we're back for good. We were just experimenting with a couple other video ideas, and we'll still go into those too, but here we are watching another one. This is YouTube's Darkest Channel 7 by Nick Crowley. He's been uploading a lot of good ones recently. I've seen they've been getting like a couple million views. So yeah, this one seemed pretty interesting.
Tell you what we're gonna do today more than anything else. We're gonna do this. Nice guy must die. Nice guy must die. Nice guy must die.
This is my house from the street. Here is my car.
First things first though, sorry, I just wanted to say, like, I feel like when it comes to YouTube and like these type of like dark channels or like very low audience channels that could be kind of like creepy and hidden, right? I don't know why, I feel like it's more creepy on YouTube, but do you think it's because like YouTube's more like general audience or like family friendly, so you don't expect to see something like dark there, you know, like as opposed to something that's not really regulated like Kick or like Rumble. You could probably see some crazy stuff on there, but I feel like when you see something dark on YouTube, it's kind of more like sinister or like creepy, because they're more regulated. That's what I'm trying to get at. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't get what I'm saying?
I do, but I just been on YouTube like probably more last year than I don't know.
You don't get what I'm saying though? Like you would. Oh look, here's a good example. Like Instagram and Facebook. Which
Oh,
speaking
yeah, you see some crazy
yeah,
shit
speaking of which, we do have to watch something about Facebook. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I'll play it.
This is a 2-bedroom brick ranch.
You guys get what I'm saying.
Conveniently located.
It's the final day of February 2008. A 47-year-old man living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, named George Sodini, publishes his very first video to YouTube under the channel MOS B46PGH.
I paid $79,000 for this in 1996. That's considered a lot, believe it or not.
The upload, titled How George Pittsburgh Lives, was almost like an old-school house tour of sorts, as George proudly displays the outside of his home, before then doing the same inside.
Open it up.
Man, you already know he's gonna have bodies in the basement or something.
Inside, okay.
That's how these stories go, right?
Side.
Seemingly making a point of mentioning every minute feature in the otherwise dim and empty home.
Here's my big screen TV. It's my computer, couch and chair. They match. Dining room set. Shoe
No,
box,
it's evil
old
looking.
pictures.
To anyone who may have stumbled...
Why? Because of how like incredibly boring it is.
No, the table just gives me like
He chops bodies there vibe.
I don't know, like just yeah, I don't know, the table.
We'll go with that.
upon this strange video or Sodini's channel in general back in 2008, it would likely come off as entirely uninteresting and far from anything disturbing. However, to those who find it today, this couldn't be more different, as the account carries with it a layer of disturbing context due to the events that transpired after this first video was published. Events that have since transformed the MOS B46 PGH page into one of YouTube's darkest channels.
Please meet every woman's
Do
dream.
something so she remembers your name.
Keep your mate with you. Make sure he's someone you can trust. Just be careful, is all I can say.
I'm gonna post this and see what comes back.
I'm sure most of you guys have heard about the TikTok ban at this point, and honestly there's something about it that's been bothering me. You or I could do a simple Google search and in a matter of seconds find countless different data broker websites where you can buy pretty much anyone's personal data.
That shit was
for just a
back
few
in the
bucks.
day.
And not only can
People are
anyone
being
do that, but
dramatic.
it's also perfectly
About the
legal.
ban?
If you watch the news at all last
I think
year,
it's
you
back
will
on the
probably
App
see
Store,
countless different
too.
big companies with terrible security getting hacked and having their data.
And you guys
But
know
as
the
much as those
deal.
companies
We're
claim to
reacting
be
to his
victims, it
videos,
was
so
our
we'll
data that was leaked onto the dark
you know,
web. Data like your
play
phone
his
number, your
ad,
email,
you know.
your home address, and even your social security security number. So if the government could ban TikTok over data privacy issues, then why aren't they doing more to protect us from these shady practices that are actually affecting our day-to-day lives? The reality is it's on us to take care of our own safety. And that's why I use Aura, today's sponsor. They identify these data brokers that sell my info online and submit opt-out requests on my behalf, as well as keeping an eye on the dark web for me, sending me alerts if they find out my personal information has been exposed. They'll even immediately give you a heads up if someone tries to use your data to access your credit or bank accounts. That kind of proactive protection is literally priceless nowadays. So if you're ready to take control of your online safety, go to my link at aura.com/NickCrowley to get your first 14 days completely free, which will give Aura more than enough time to see if any of your personal information is floating around out there on the web. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself today.
Get that money.
I'd be like, y'all could take care of my debt.
Little hall,
My unpaid credit bills.
2 bedrooms. To the right is my bedroom.
Without any context, it's hard to know what the purpose of George Sodini's first video was, if it even had one at all. The entire thing just felt so random. But within the footage itself was one clue that hints at the fact that George actually had a very specific reason for uploading this, with that clue coming in the form of a book on his coffee table.
Okay, come over here. There's some reading material that we're all familiar with.
It was called How to Date Young Women for Men Over 35, which was about as creepy as it sounded.
Yep, sounds like it.
Is a 51-year-old bachelor who says if you're a single woman over 30, you're a dating has-been. Please meet every woman's dream, Don Steele.
Is that the man?
Its author, Don Steele, had made a living as a dating counselor and life coach, creating
Sounds
various
like
books
Epstein.
and programs that were geared towards socially awkward men,
guess that would make sense.
exploiting them with the promise that someday they'll be able to get the younger girl of their dreams, even after they reached middle adulthood, and all that they had to do was pay for his course, pay for the book, and dedicate themselves to becoming more desirable.
The
And George
oldest trick in the
Sodini was
book.
the perfect target. Despite having a successful career as a systems analyst at a law firm, he struggled to maintain any relationships with the women that he...
Not that I approve of old guys going after young girls at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the only way that could work is if it's like gold digging, right? Or like they're like the sugar babies, you know? Like if you have a lot of money, I feel like it's easy to probably get with like a young girl, no?
Yeah.
Not that I approve of that. I'm just saying though, like that's probably the only thing you need.
But I feel like even if I mean, like, I don't know. Cause like, then if you have to do stuff sexual with them, I'll be like, ew. For money?
Well, I mean, like like he said, if they're like 35 to 40, going for like 20s, like it's not, they're not super old yet. That's only if they've been taking care of themselves, because a lot of people could start falling down the tubes in their 30s, you know.
I would say that's true.
If they're not
I
taking
would
care of
say 20's too young because you're not even old enough to drink or buy a lottery ticket or buy a lighter at a store.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know if that's everywhere in the U.S., but in California, you have to be 21 to buy a lighter. So I'd be like, 21's too young. And then 21, at least let them be 22, 23. So they could have experienced like a whole year of doing what they want to do.
Yeah, true.
he met. It had been well over a decade since he last had a girlfriend, and despite desperately wanting one, George just seemed to lack the ability to connect with women on any level, even as just friends. And as his isolation began to grow, so too did his obsession with finding a girlfriend. George had nearly given up these pursuits too, until he was introduced to Don Steele's course, viewing the program as his last real shot at human connection, obsessively reading the book to the point that he was supposedly able to recite passages by memory alone. On top of this, he would also attend many of this supposed guru's in-person seminars, with some of his visits even being captured.
You know, it'd
on
be such a
camera.
hilarious idea for me to like do one of these, or like some type of like, maybe it could be a Bad Miracle Investigates, like one of these dating gurus.
Oh,
like if I
go
signed
there?
up for it, and then like,
But then what if you walk out of there being like, I agree, like, yes.
oh, stop.
And then I'll be like, ugh, great.
I'm not gonna fall for any of that bullshit.
I'll
Later
be like,
posted on
bye.
Don Steele's YouTube channel.
It used to be down here. It was called a codpiece, and it's gradually over the years moved up here. So it's read like an erect you-know-what.
And it was in these courses where George was subjected to all sorts of bizarre and unsettling ideology.
Turn around here, look at me, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today more than anything else. We're going
Today, the clip-on tie.
Gonna do this. Nice guy must die.
But despite agreeing with this man wholeheartedly and following all of his work, George was
She's
still making
pretty.
very little progress,
I like
which was
I like
evident
that
by the
outfit.
footage of him attending these seminars, as he appears incredibly nervous and kept mainly to himself. And so, recognizing that George had much to improve on, he was given an assignment by one of his instructors. He was told to film a video of his house, so that the instructors and everyone else in the class could see if he was really making himself and his environment desirable enough to any woman who might come over.
Okay, couch and chair, they match. The woman will really be impressed.
Knowing this,
Are you impressed?
the footage feels so much lonelier, as it was almost like he was trying to sell his way of living as being good enough for a partner that he was really no closer to finding. There's something so depressing about it. And this wasn't
Oh,
his
that's
only
so
video.
sad though. Because
Excuse
what
me,
if?
sir, would you like to earn income?
Because what if like he bought a house in the, you know,
What's
probably
up?
with the intention like, okay, I'll have a house, so when I find a woman, marry her, have kids with her, you know, like this will be our family home. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, true.
Because you have to admit, these guru people, they go and they pry on like the ones that like feel like they have
Yeah, the
nothing
most
else,
vulnerable.
yeah, to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And so it's kind of like, oh,
True, but I mean, this guy seems like, I mean, yeah, he looks a little older, but he seems like in shape. Like, probably has a decent job.
yeah.
I'm just saying, you have to admit though, I feel like it's kind of easier for an older guy than an older like single woman to find a partner at least. Obviously, like
Actually,
hookup
I
is different.
feel like it'd be maybe easier for a woman, depending on their physique, how they look, because you have to admit, like some people want to fuck a MILF. Like a lot of
well,
men.
see, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about like a life partner. I'm not talking about like just a hookup. Obviously, like that.
True, yeah, women wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
It is easy for me to hide from my emotions for one more day. Take a long drive in the car, listen to some music, daydream, or just do some mundane task around the house that really doesn't need to be done, that's not too important. And there you go, one more day. And one more day turns into one more year.
Months later, on June 23rd,
Wow, it's
2008,
dark.
George would return with an upload he had filmed inside of his basement. And in it, we get more insight on just how severe his isolation had become, though he still held on to a sliver of optimism thanks to Don Steele's course.
What year is this? Did they say?
2008.
Now,
Okay.
RDS says that I have approximately maybe 15 more years to be successful at this. And when I heard that, I wanted to continue immediately to start moving on this. I didn't realize I had that much time.
He kind of came up though. If he had a decent job, because this is 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and he said the house was 79,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was during like the recession or whatever. So like
So
I think the houses
my
were
objective
cheaper.
But he
is
bought
to
it in
be real and to
96.
learn to
Oh,
be
never
emotional
mind then.
and to be able to emotionally connect with people.
Before he eventually reverts back to talking about his uncanny desire to find a younger woman.
Because when I'm 10 to 20 years older than she is, she has to feel good about this thing.
Ending the video with hints of an uncertain future.
I'm going to post this and see what comes back.
He would never upload again.
Huh.
And soon after, it appears George gave up trying, essentially accepting his life of loneliness. But while this would be the last video made to his channel, he wouldn't leave the internet entirely. Soon after this final video was posted, a website was launched called GeorgeSodini.com, which served as a place for George to blog about his emotions. And while something like this could have been beneficial for him, this website would instead only serve to capture his descent into madness.
Did you know about the blog era?
No, not that
Like-
old.
Like YouTube and stuff obviously was out, came out like 2005, and people probably were like video logging or like vlogging, but some people would just do their like vlogs but like write it down, like just type it like their day to day. It would be like blogging or whatever. But yeah, just some history for you.
An immediate red flag was raised by the very first text you see on the website, as George wrote, "Why do this? To young girls? Just read below. I kept a running log that includes my thoughts and actions after I saw this project was going to drag on," with the line serving as some sort of bizarre disclaimer, though with no other context. George's entries began. December 22nd, 2008. Time is moving along. Plan to have this done already. I will just keep a running log here as time passes. Many of the young girls here look so beautiful as to not be human. Very edible. After joining this gym, started lifting weights and like it. This early post encapsulates what this blog would be focused on. Young women he would see throughout the day, his time at the gym, and his plan. This plan was never expressly stated on the website, but
Very
it was something he
edible.
obsessed over, mentioning it in every single one of his posts, and dubbing it the exit plan, even going as far as to provide a date and time for it, January 6th, 2009, at 8:15 p.m. Before this day would come, however, he would provide further insight into just how lonely he was. Moving into Christmas again, last Christmas with Pam was in 1983. Who knows why? I'm not ugly or too weird. No sex since January 1990 either. I was 29.
Oh, gosh.
No shit. Over 18 years ago. I actually look good. I dress good. Am clean shaven, bathed, touch of cologne. Yet 30 million women reject me. Over an 18 or 25
Wow,
year
he
period.
was
That's how I see
under
it.
mine.
30 million is my rough
He's
guess of
47.
how many desirable single women there are. With several other posts of the same nature, the day eventually came for his big exit plan, January 6th, with George writing one message that afternoon. I can do this. This log is not detailed. It is only for confidence to do this. The future holds even less than what I have today. It is 6:40 p.m., about an hour and a half to go. God have mercy. I wish life could have been better for all, and the crazy world can somehow run smoother. I wish I had answers. Bye. Despite this appearing to be his final post, George Sodini wasn't quite finished, as he would come back only hours later, writing simply, "It's 8:45 p.m. I chickened out. Shit. I brought the loaded guns, everything." Whatever George Sodini had been planning that day, it was clear that his exit plan was something incredibly disturbing.
This
Oh
is
my
crazy.
god, it's giving
Plural.
that one little white boy or whatever that boy was. He was a
The college
YouTuber.
kid, right?
Yeah, he was a YouTuber.
Damn, what was his name? Oh, Elliot Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Except he
was likely
blogged.
not just an exit plan
He didn't
for
blog.
himself. But thankfully, he didn't go through with it. In fact, he seemed to have dropped the plan entirely, as months would go by without any update to his blog. Though this wouldn't last, as in April of 2009, he began posting yet again.
But
these
imagine just
entries
coming
being
across
even
that
more
website.
disturbing. July 23rd, 2009. Wow, I just looked out my front window and saw a beautiful college-age girl leave Bob's house, across the street. I guess he got a good lay today. College girls are hoes. I masturbate, frequently. He is about 45 years old. She was long-haired, hot little hottie with a beautiful bod. I masturbate, frequently. The strangest part of this entire
Okay.
website was, according to those he worked with and the neighbors, they all thought George was normal. A little off, sure, but it appeared that these disturbing thoughts and plans were kept solely in his blog, and solely in his mind.
He just
But on
masturbates
July
frequently.
28th, 2009, this would all change. George had boarded a Port Authority bus that day and took a seat, carrying with him some sort of duffel bag, and as the ride commenced, he unzipped the bag and began to fiddle with something inside of it. An anonymous man sitting next to him noticed this, and curiously leaned over to see what he was doing. In George Sodini's hand was what appeared to be a grenade.
The fuck?
The stunned passenger ran off at the next stop and immediately alerted the police. But bizarrely, nothing actually came of this. No explosions happened that day, and upon police eventually tracking down Sodini 2 days later, he was searched, but there was no sign of this supposed grenade, and the man who had reported this incident was unable to positively identify him. And so, George was released, allowing him to continue on with his day, and to continue on with his posting. August 3rd, 2009. I took off today, Monday, and tomorrow.
Honestly,
to
you know what
practice my
shit
routine
pisses
and
me
make
off,
sure it
not
was
gonna
well.
lie.
What's up?
When it comes to like police and all that, like kind of like, you know, when like school shootings happen and then or not even just school shootings, but like
Like mass?
kids, no, not, I'm not even talking about that. Like I'm talking about that, but like not just that. Or kids who Child Protective Services gets called on them and then they end up getting killed by their parents. Or you know what I mean?
Mm.
What kind of annoys me is kind of like how did you not know? There were so many signs of abuse. There were so many signs that this kid, person, adult, man or woman were gonna go and kill people. How is it that people online could sit there and say like he's
Like, get
gonna
shit
do
done.
it, like he's gonna do it, like do something, and we're telling you before it happens, and then it goes, no, it's fine, they're just talking.
I'm not saying all, but I feel like people who are in those positions probably just don't care as much.
About like if a
They just don't care to investigate it or something. Does that make
like
sense?
it's like it's like, what am I gonna do about that? Like, I can't do anything based off that. But it's like, yeah, you guys could fucking monitor this person because obviously they're showing signs of like they want to do it. They want to do something. They're posting like, especially when you go on, when people post, like when people show what they would post, it's like talking about guns and like showing, like, you know, like you just kind of know, like, how do you look at that and go, no, they're just like, it's just a joke.
Yeah, not to get too uh deep or sad about it, but remember I told you about my one of my high school friends who like committed. They like
Oh
jumped off the
yeah.
my like local town like bridge or whatever.
Mhm.
Like on MySpace or Facebook or one of those, he was posting like some crazy stuff, like his arm all cut up, or like a rifle. He would post a couple times and talk about how he like chickened out on doing it, and I don't know. But it was like one of those things. What do they call that? The bystander effect. Like sometimes I would see that, but I wasn't like super close with him. Like we were just like friends of friends, right? I guess maybe, and you know, this was like right out of high school, so I was like 19, 20. Maybe I just thought someone else, like his closer friends, would like do something about it, but unfortunately, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he didn't go out that way, but still, it was like pretty sad, regardless. But
Oh yeah, 'cause you did tell me about him. You said how he would like go to the, he was a buff guy, didn't you say? 'Cause he would always like work out and stuff.
yeah, and I think that got him some confidence because he was a really shy like kid. He like barely talked at all in
Mhm.
school, and he was like tall and skinny, and yeah, he got buff, and I think what finally pushed him over the edge was like something with like a girl. Maybe he
Mm.
was trying to get with a girl and that didn't work out, and that because I think he wrote like messages to like people that I knew, like, you know, he made like posts like, oh, like dear this person, like, you know, he, it was like 20 something people he made like separate like posts about, like, just, you know.
Aw, that's so
Yeah,
sad.
pretty sad.
Aw,
What?
that make you cry.
No, I know it's sad. R.I.P. Eric.
Polished. I need to work out every detail. There is only one shot. Also, I need to be completely immersed into something before I can be successful. I haven't had a drink since Friday at about 2:30. Total effort needed.
Are you okay?
Tomorrow.
No, you're gonna, it's like gonna make me cry. It's so
I'm
sad.
sorry.
Aw. 'Cause like, that makes me sad, 'cause when I hear stories like that, it's just like, I think it's more like maybe people did reach out, or just in general when people post stuff like that, I feel like people do reach out, but I feel like
At the
it's
end at the
like,
end of the day, it's kind of like their own battle. Like
yeah,
there
but
is
I
probably a
feel
lot of
like
like,
it's also too, like, if the friends are like, oh, he's been saying that, or just in general, like, people could be like,
maybe they
oh,
think it's
he's,
like a boy who cried wolf. Like
yeah, it's
maybe the
like,
first time they reached out, but then like they see that he kept doing it, so maybe they just didn't like.
yeah,
And like I said, it could be a bystander effect too, where it's like, you know what that is, right?
yeah, like you're watching, but you're
Yeah,
not
like
doing anything.
yeah, like if someone's getting like robbed in public and no one's acting on it, like, is anyone gonna help this guy or this person,
Aw.
girl?
I think what makes me sad more is just like, it's just crazy because when people do that stuff, when they unalive themselves, which I understand, like, there's reasons to that, like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's sad because it's like you have, like, I think about, like, did they regret it in that moment, but it was too late? Did they, you know what I mean? Like, did they, like, the moment they do something, whether it's, you know what I mean? Like, something, like, taking a bottle of pills with alcohol, or, like,
yeah.
cutting, or, you know, jumping off places or whatever. Like, I always wonder, like, in that moment, do they go, oh, no, I don't. Like, this isn't, I don't want to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's probably like regret.
Because I know there's a lot of people, like, people who have attempted that survived,
And then it totally like changes their
and then they sit
outlook.
there and say, like, I'm glad, like, you know, like, they sit there and they'll talk about, like, I'm glad I survived, or like, like,
Yeah.
the moment I jumped off, like, I knew I was like, this isn't what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think about people who've like you have a choice to keep living. Whereas there's some people who pass away young, you know. Oh, and then he was outside of high school. He was your age.
Yeah, we were young. It was only like when I was like 19, 20.
Makes me so sad
Mm-hmm.
though. Oh my god. Why'd you say this?
It's okay.
That's so sad. And then like his parents and oh my god. Hold on, let me take a minute. Too emotional for these stories, babe. I'm not laughing at like
No, I know,
that.
I know.
I'm just like
You're fine.
No, I need to cry harder because it's like I'm holding it back. That's
Really?
so sad. Did he have siblings? Did he have like?
I think he had an
siblings?
older brother, and I don't think he lived with his parents. He lived with his grandma.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I know.
Oh my gosh, bro. Damn. I think I'm also thinking about like him and then like your friend who passed away like too. So it's kind of like damn, like young, you know. And then I'm thinking about other people who passed away young. Man, it's just a spiral effect. Why'd you say it?
Yep, that's how it is. Once you leave high school, you know, people, you see them like get married, and then like literally at least like it's crazy too, because it could be like you, knock on wood, like a third, like, you know, like I said, a third of them get married, a third of them might have some cool career, and then like a third of them like die or something, you know,
Cause like for me like I know you've had a lot of people you've known like pass away or like friends of friends of friends
or just like people I went to elementary school with.
yeah, and like you tell me that, and like only one I know is like a girl that I wasn't friends with, but I went to school with her and I knew her. Like we had talked before, but she was a grade older, and it was like her driving with a friend, I think to Coachella, and it was like her 21st birthday, and she was trying to change like the music.
Oh, you told me about
and
this.
she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and she hit like the middle of the freeway, and she got ejected, and she passed away.
That's sad.
And it's like that's crazy, cause it's like in an instant, it could, you know what I mean? All right, let's get off of this.
You okay though?
Yeah. Let me get off of this.
Was the big day. Last time I tried this in January, I chickened out. Let's see how this new approach works. Maybe soon I will see God and Jesus. This was the final update made to GeorgeSodini.com, and unlike his previous attempt at carrying out this exit plan, this time he didn't back out.
But just
On
like
August
himself,
4th, 2009,
hopefully. Well,
George
not
Sodini would
hopefully,
enter
but
an
you
LA
know.
Fitness in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, and walk directly into a woman's aerobics class with a duffel bag in his hand. He then dropped his
Bruh.
bag on the floor with a loud bang before he closed the door and shut off all the lights. In a moment of darkness and confusion, one witness recalled that she felt the presence of someone who didn't belong there. Before total panic would ensue, everyone was just screaming so loud. At first, I didn't even think shots were being fired. It was so surreal. At that moment, George Sodini had brandished 2 guns from his bag and opened fire on the group of 30, all of whom were women, which was entirely
That's
the point.
fucking crazy.
In that dark, cramped room, George would discharge his weapon 52 times, striking 12 different women and then himself. Of the injured, 49-year-old Elizabeth Gannon, 38-year-old Jody Billingsley, and 46-year-old Heidi Overmeyer would tragically lose their lives, while the others were left with permanent injuries, both physical and mental.
Damn.
Okay,
It
I'm gonna
wasn't
cry
hard to find
again.
a motive. George had spelled it out right there in his blog. He desired women so much that his inability to ever gain a real connection with any of them turned his infatuation into pure hatred. And this is how he wanted to...
Why is that, man? Why do incels have to be very because he pretty much is like one, right? Like I get, like, okay, never mind, that sounds wrong. I'm not saying I get it, like I get it, but I'm saying like I guess to them they think that like if I can't have you, like no one else can, type of attitude. That's fucking selfish and like disgusting, you know? Like just like what you said, that you brought up the Elliot Rodger kid, same thing, right? He couldn't even like get laid or anything, and
Yeah, but it was also the entitlement of it all. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
deserve all these women, and it's like, says who? Says you? What have you done for a woman? Like nothing. You talk down on certain women. you talk
Thinking they should
down
be
on
like
the
subservient.
yeah, you
So
talk down on the men that they're with, and you talk about I have a BMW and like I have a nice car. I'm rich. Like, oh, bitch, I don't care about that. Like when you have a mentality like that, I cannot interact with you. Like I get it. Everybody wants to be successful and have this certain like lifestyle. I totally understand, right? There's goals in life you could have, but when you're already sitting there saying what you deserve, it's like, do you deserve it? Like are you working for what you deserve? Because if from what I was seeing from all his videos is everything was handed down to him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
difference between like having to work for what you got and not needing to work but getting everything you want. It's just the women you didn't, because you're not being, like don't get me wrong. I like my man, which you, but I like how you're respectful, understanding,
Mm-hmm.
you're emotional, but not too emotional. You're sensitive, but you're not too sensitive.
Yeah, you gotta have a
You know what I
balance. You
mean?
know.
You're masculine, but you're not too masculine where it's like, you know what I mean? Like when I cook dinner for you, even after I work a full day shift, I'll cook dinner for you, and you'll be like, I'll wash the dishes since you cooked for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Or sometimes I'll wash the dishes, like I don't mind, but like,
Or like I do like laundry and stuff. I do like other
yeah,
chores. I
yeah.
just don't really know how to cook that well, so that's her
But I love to
specialty.
cook,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I told you, like I like when you and I have our own place, whether I'm working a full-time job and we're doing, trying to do the YouTube thing, right? Well, not we're just doing this sometimes. It's just fun though, I'm not gonna lie. But like for you, like I would want you to come home to a nice cooked meal. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, oh sorry, I would want you to come home to a nice home cooked meal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want you to, you know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
like, I could see you wanting to be the one that works. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I'm just saying, though, you have a balance. Because I've met some men who are, like, too sensitive, or it's not a turn on for me. It's like, I like how
And
you're,
dated one, right?
yeah, like, I don't mind you being, like, into your feelings. Like, that's totally fine. Don't cut off from your emotions, but also don't give me too much, because then it pushes me away.
Yeah.
Or it makes me kind of like can I stay with somebody like this? Because especially if you're like what is the word, self-deprecating, is that the word?
Yeah.
Like yourself, and like just
Like putting
talking
yourself
down a
down.
lot, which I know I do that, I won't lie, but like I'll laugh about it.
But not to put like gender norms out there, but I mean I guess it's more common for girls to be more in their feelings and like maybe being self-deprecating like that. So they need like a solid like rock there too, no?
Yeah, like
That's what it is
I
too.
personally don't, but I don't mind if a guy's like
No, I know that,
but
but I'm saying if you're more emotional or just as emotional as like the girl, then
yeah,
you're not.
because
It's not as like stable. You need that
like
like.
hold on, let me give an example, because I want to, you know like this guy would talk about how he doesn't see himself. This is before we started like dating. Like he didn't see himself.
Oh, because you were friends with him, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't see him. He didn't see himself ever being with a girl. His whole life would just be going to the bars, meeting women there, having one night stands, and then going home, being like empty household. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
almost
Like,
like word for word, right? He actually said those
yes,
things. Yeah.
yes. And then, you know what I mean? And then, it just became like one of those things, or like even like talking down on like me, like, cause mind you, like this was when I was working out. I gotta get back to working out, but this was when I was working out. So I was like lighter back then, and like he'd ask like how much do I weigh, and I would tell him, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna need to work out some more to be able to like lift you." But mind you, remember he was like a scrawnier,
Yeah.
because I think I weighed like 130.
Uh huh.
So then but I was working out, so when he said that, I was like, you didn't word it like, you didn't word it proper. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it kind of seemed,
I get you.
like very, very slut shit. Kind of gave me vibes of like Andrew Tate before there was an Andrew Tate. Like just the way he would like talk about certain things where I'd be like,
Like red pilly.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I won't lie. Like he would get me mad, so I would, get mad back. So like I think there's messages I have where I'm like, oh, I said that, like a little ruthless. But he would piss me off with some of the things he would say. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
you're trying to hurt my feelings. I'm gonna hurt your feelings
Yeah,
back.
you're human too, so you're gonna
Yeah, and
react
I'm like, that shit would make me mad because I'm like, why are you talking down on me? And it's like I don't like that. Like, don't do that with me. So yeah, but yeah, so incel-y, no.
Yep.
Make them pay. And
I don't know how we got on that.
I know, yeah. Going on all these
as
tangents.
these plans were heavily implied on his website, which had been publicly available online for roughly an entire year. Yet no one cared enough about him to ever look.
It is easy for me to hide from my emotions for one more day.
Knowing what we know now, George's channel is highly disturbing, as it shows us a glimpse into a mind on the verge of completely snapping, in a last gasp attempt at achieving normalcy by a person who would go on to become a monster when he didn't get what he wanted.
Just everything I need. Well, that about sums it up.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis. Just having
Oh my god.
I didn't really understand him.
Who?
Did you? The guy? What'd he say? I didn't hear him.
This new guy?
Yeah.
Let me play it back.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis.
The guy that's with Lewis.
Having a little drink.
Having a little drink. That's what he
Mark
said.
Williams always dreamed of being a YouTuber.
Ooh.
He had grown up watching parkour content on the site.
Oh my god, I thought that was him. I was like, that's crazy.
He probably started doing it.
Eventually becoming so inspired by it that he launched his own channel in 2019 at the age of just 15, with Mark hoping that someday this channel
I
would
used to
make
do
that dream of
parkour
his come
myself a
true.
little bit,
The page went by many names over the years, but eventually Mark would settle on the moniker Displace. And depending on who you ask, his videos were either extremely impressive or extremely irresponsible. They showed scenes of Mark high atop buildings, jumping rooftop to rooftop.
Not
climbing on
this
massive
though, I never
abandoned
did this,
cranes,
but
and fleeing from security
No.
guards and the cops on more than a few occasions.
I mean, we already know where this is probably going.
Yeah, they'll catch me then, won't they?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like watching these videos. Like, remember, I've been watching them sometimes, like when we're stoned or something. Like they go to like the very top floor, like sneaking around, like going to like the helicopter pads up there, and then like sometimes like the security catches them, and then they like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's not
so.
necessarily parkour, but they try to like run from.
Those give me anxiety, bro.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, do they map it out in the sense of like, okay, I'm gonna really need to build up speed at this point to jump over there, Because some videos I see when they jump, and I'm like, oh my god, they're not gonna make it, and like they'll like, I don't know, I'm like,
Yeah, some crazy moves like when they do like flips over gaps in buildings. Yeah, they probably like like practice or like they like it's not just like freestyling it, But there is an art form with that too, like of I think that's free running, which is kind of like parkour.
oh my god, this isn't a
Often
video
seen with
game
him
though.
was
If you
his
lose your
younger brother,
life,
who he had grown
That's the
incredibly close
adrenaline,
with,
yeah.
which was due in part to the fact that Mark was somewhat of a loner and didn't have many friends in his own personal life. Though according to his mother, this wasn't necessarily by choice, as she explained that he did desperately want friendship, and he was incredibly caring. He just had a habit of making the wrong friends, describing Mark as trusting to a fault. Mark's longing for camaraderie became especially apparent not long after the launch of Displace, as his brother slowly began appearing less and less in his videos, forcing him to do these free runs by himself, which he implied
see,
was
like,
something
free
he
runs.
didn't enjoy nearly as much.
My brother, who was part of the channel, Ben, he's not now. I don't think he's coming back at all. He ditched me, leaving me by myself, and I've got a problem with talking to myself as well.
This, coupled with the fact that he was dealing with the tribulations of growing up, led to his uploads on the channel becoming more and more sporadic,
I'll
as
be
he would
your
often go dark
friend.
for a few months, only to return with the promise of more consistent uploads.
honestly, when I
Don't know if you can
What's
see
up?
it or not.
I don't know, when like videos like this happen, like where they're like sad or not sad but like lonely, I'm like, I'll be your friend. damn, like, just wanna like hug you, like.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of these people
okay.
need like a hug. Like imagine just some friendship or companionship for the other guy that we just watched.
He would have been like totally.
Like I said, I'm not trying to. Obviously, he still made a very like
No, but it would have made a
disgusting decision.
difference.
But
He wouldn't
yeah,
be
like
alone. Because think about it, like, if you had even just a group of guy friends, you go out, you go to the bar, you won't feel as lonely. It would just be the more, like, wanting a significant other, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Join a bowling league, you know?
there's
You could
something.
go to the pool table, pool
VR.
house, and...
I know it's not as
Mhm.
healthy, but it's better than
I don't know about VR.
it's better than nothing.
That often never came.
Kids are on that.
It was clear that he still longed to be a YouTuber. He just needed some sort of a spark. And sure enough, at the end of 2020, he would find one right in his own comment section. In a since-deleted video, Mark would receive a comment from a man named Lewis Ashdown, who explained that he was a big fan of Mark's content and that he would love to join him in an upcoming video, as they both just so happened to live in Uckfield. It was exactly what Mark had been needing, a friend. And not only a friend, but a friend he could make videos with. And so that's exactly what he would do.
Hi guys, I'm back here with Lewis.
Don't tell me he killed
The
him.
water treatment facility in Uckfield on the industrial estate.
You think it's that
See you in
dark?
a sec, guys.
From
Oh,
their first
no.
meeting on, Lewis became a core part of the Displaced channel, leading to the two growing closer by the day, with Mark speaking about this bond on a live stream in March of 2021.
If you're going exploring at an abandoned pub, yeah, keep your mate with you, make sure he's someone you can trust, you know, and be careful is all I can say.
Unless he
Because
got
in the
bopped
video
by
where me and Lewis
the
climbed
guy.
That's what I'm
college,
saying. Like, it
you
did
know,
that
I
guy.
was constantly looking out for him because he did get dangerously close to some of the edges, but you know, that's what life's about, isn't it?
But despite finding his new parkour partner, Mark still had other issues getting in the way of his uploads, as he was now 18 years old, and was facing the reality of having to get a job, forcing him to put his channel on the back burner. Mark discussed this struggle and the many others he was facing at the time in that same March livestream, with his tone about Displace's future sounding less than optimistic.
I've been doing some talking with Lewis, seeming like he wants to get back into climbing and stuff. I haven't actually done it since Christmas, and I've got a bad back, right? It's been getting worse and worse lately. Don't know why. I need to go to the hospital and have myself checked out. I am not sure where my channel is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing these videos. I don't know if I'm going to be doing different videos, or whether I'm going to stop completely.
But unlike other times when he had gotten down on his channel, this time he wasn't alone, and his friend Lewis was there to have his back, as he pushed Mark to continue his work, even showing up in the comments of this livestream under the name Moral Unknown, where he went as far as to offer up a potential location that they could film their next video in order to get Mark re-inspired. Will do Buxted Hotel first video back? And sure enough, just days later, the two would arrive at Buxted Hotel to begin filming yet another video.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis. Just having a little drink.
No.
This would be their
Bad
last on the
choice.
Displaced channel, as not even 2 months after it was uploaded, both Mark Williams and Lewis Ashdown would vanish without a trace.
What the hell? Maybe like not uploading.
It was the
lives,
waning
but
hours of Saturday, May 29th, 2021. Mark met Lewis at the Maresfield Recreation Ground to have a few drinks and discuss their next potential video. Though once there, it was the drinks that took priority, and very quickly Mark had become intoxicated, leading to him calling his house to tell his aunt, who he had been living with, that he would be heading back now. On the call, his aunt could tell that he was drunk, but Lewis chimed in to assure her not to worry, telling her, "I'll get him home safe," which made his aunt feel slightly better. After all, it was only a short few-minute walk back to the house anyway. Instead, 12 hours would pass, and Mark still hadn't made it back, while Lewis himself also failed to arrive home. At some point during their short walk back, both boys had disappeared. They were reported as missing the very next morning, and the area they were last in was combed thoroughly, though very little was uncovered. Around them had been large pockets of forest and murky bodies of water, leading to some questioning if perhaps the boys had gotten lost, or even had fallen into the water. Though regardless of the theories, as a full 24 hours passed,
It's
many began to
unsolved?
fear the worst,
I don't
until
know.
something strange happened. Reports began pouring in from witnesses claiming to have seen Lewis. Some thought they saw him leaving a local pub the morning after he supposedly had gone missing, while others had seen him at a local movie theater, seemingly completely unaware that the whole town was looking for him. these sightings introduced the possibility that the boys were perhaps runaways, causing several pleas to be made throughout the press, begging them to come back home. But it would be the police who would find Lewis first, tracking him down at his friend named Liam Hansen's house. There, the cops fired off a barrage of questions, as they not only tried to get answers as to where the boys had been, but more importantly now, they needed to know where Mark was. Throughout all the sightings, it was only ever Lewis that had been spotted, and even now, after searching this friend's home, Mark wasn't there either. So where had Mark Williams gone? Well, Lewis himself offered very little, outright refusing to speak on the boys' whereabouts. But his friend Liam wasn't so quiet, as when he was questioned separately, he claimed to know exactly what had happened on the night of May 29th, 2021, the day in
so
which
they're
both
both
boys had
fine.
disappeared. And he
Or-
knew because Lewis had told him. According to the boy, the night that Lewis and Mark had met at the park, Lewis poured a cocktail for his friend, and then another, each one stronger than the last, causing Mark to become drunk almost immediately. Realizing he was drinking too much, Mark told Lewis that he had enough, but Lewis persisted, outright demanding that he keep drinking, leading to Mark begging Lewis to let him stop. At one point, Mark's pleas finally caused Lewis to back off, as the boy instead agreed to make him a non-alcoholic drink, only for him to fill the cup with even more liquor when Mark wasn't looking. By 11:30, Mark could barely stand, prompting him to make that phone call to his aunt, letting her know that he would be back soon. Meanwhile, Lewis had been so preoccupied with getting his friend drunk that he was still fairly sober at this point, and in his sober state, he promised Mark's aunt that he would get him home safe. Seconds after that phone call ended, Mark hunched over to vomit, which is precisely when Lewis pulled a large kitchen knife from his pocket and plunged it directly into Mark's back.
Okay,
Mark
this
stumbled
came
and
out of
asked
like
Lewis to call him an ambulance,
nowhere.
being unable to comprehend what had just happened. To which Lewis responded by laughing, before doing it again, and again, and again.
But
This
how
is
do they
what
know
Lewis
this?
had told Liam in the days after the alleged attack.
Oh, he
but as Liam
admitted to it?
recounted the story to the police, he made it clear that this wasn't just a tall tale, as he had actually seen it for himself. When Lewis had told him the story, he pulled out his phone and put it up to Liam's face, revealing that he had filmed the entire ordeal. And sure enough, when
What the
police
fuck?
searched Lewis's devices, they would find that footage, though it was far worse than they ever could have imagined. On Lewis Ashdown's cell phone were 7 total videos depicting the attack, with the footage spanning
And sadly, you probably bled out quick, right? Because of like being drunk, like your blood pressure.
Yeah, it thins your blood, right? So you.
I think so. I mean, who knows how many times he stabbed him, so he probably would have died anyway. I'm just saying that he probably bled
nearly
out
an
quick
hour in
if he was
total,
drunk.
during which Mark had been stabbed 107 times,
Oh, never
on top
mind.
of
I
having
guess-
a number of other sadistic
Jeez.
things done to him. And all the while, it was said that Lewis was giggling manically. When asked about what he had seen in those recordings, Liam provided further detail on just how awful the attack was, recounting that he ripped Mark's eyes out. Proper psychotic stuff. I was going
What
into
the-
shock. I was shocked how he came out with it. I wanted to run and tell someone.
No, I was gonna say, do you think the brother seen any signs, or do you think he was just fine, but then since his brother ditched him, he got more like psychotic, if that makes sense? Maybe he felt like.
Who are you talking about?
Remember originally when he made this channel, he did it with his brother.
He's the one that died.
Who?
Babe, the guy that befriended him. Oh, are we watching the same video?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, the friend he made that was online,
Uh-huh.
he killed Mark. Mark's the one that had the YouTube channel originally, who was doing parkour with his brother. So the guy that befriended him killed him.
Are you sure? I thought Lewis is the one with the YouTube channel.
No, Mark was. Mark had the YouTube channel. The guy befriended him. He recorded.
Like on his live, right?
Because
And
he was
then-
the one that was what on his live? Oh, babe, let's go back a bit, okay? Mark, YouTube channel, doing parkour, was by himself, doing it with his brother. His brother stopped. That guy reached out to him. They became friends and all that. They went out and they were drinking. That guy was getting Mark drunk, the one with the YouTube channel. And then he calls his aunt to say, like, I'm gonna be home soon. And then the guy says, yeah, I'll make sure he gets there safe. But in reality, he keeps getting him drunk, and then he murders him.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This was clearly
Still fucked
not a
up, though.
normal
That's crazy.
crime. It displayed a level of evil and hatred that goes past human comprehension, and due to its brutality, police assumed that surely something must have happened between these two to breed so much hatred inside of Lewis. But according to Lewis, this wasn't actually the case. Instead, he stated that he had simply found Mark to be annoying, and that he had been wanting to kill him for some time because of this, and had just been waiting for the right moment. Plus, he always wanted to know what it was like to kill someone. And that was it. That was his entire motive.
I think
Lewis
I might be
Ashdown
right.
would be arrested the day he was found and later sentenced to life in prison, with parole
I'm telling you,
eligibility
that's
in 25
him.
years.
Lewis with the
While
YouTube
Mark's
channel.
body
He's
was
the one
found
that
dumped
did
in a
the.
nearby body of water, and eventually given a proper burial.
Hi guys,
I'm
back
right,
with
right?
That's the
and,
one with the
we're gonna do
YouTube channel.
water treatment.
Yes, he's the one that did the killing.
No, he
yes, he
did.
did, bro. Look what he just said. Look what Nick Crowley just said. That's Lewis.
Yes, Lewis did it, not Mark.
You said that Mark did it, bro.
No, I didn't.
I said the one with the. You said the guy who befriended him on live killed him. No, Lewis killed Mark. We can roll it back.
No,
you said
man,
that. You
listen
said that.
to me. Because you said, like, he's psychotic. It's probably because, oh, is it, you think it's because his brother stopped doing YouTube channels with, like, YouTube
Yeah,
with him?
that's
Babe,
Lewis.
It's not funny. Like, this situation's not funny
That's
at all.
Lewis, bro. They just said Lewis right here.
No. Lewis.
Look.
Oh, my God.
Look.
That's
That goes
Lewis.
past human comprehension, and due to its brutality, police assumed that surely something must have happened between
That's Lewis.
No,
babe.
it's not.
Yes, it is,
That's
bro.
Mark.
these
Look,
two
look.
to breed so
Why is he holding the camera? This is his channel.
Okay, go
Look,
play.
look.
hatred inside of Lewis. But according to Lewis, this
Hatred
wasn't
inside of Lewis.
Uh-huh.
So that
That's
means
Mark.
this is Lewis,
Instead,
babe.
he
This is Lewis. Want to bet, bro? Do you want to bet? We could bet. Seriously.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
I don't know if I'll leave this in. I'm gonna go back to the beginning real quick.
Okay, where are you
So-
at right now? Where are you at? You're gonna leave this in. We're at
24:33.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Go all the way to the beginning.
I know we gotta hear the intro.
Yeah.
So who's that? That's Mark, right?
Yeah.
attached to both its many talented creators and the
Let's go.
hobby itself, eventually becoming so inspired by it that he launched his own channel in 2019 at the age of just 15, with Mark hoping that someday this channel would make that dream of his.
Okay, you're right.
You're so annoying.
So Lewis is the new one.
Lewis is the one that befriended Mark. Mark had the YouTube channel originally.
okay.
the right moment. Plus, he always wanted to know what it was like to kill someone.
I was wrong.
And
Sorry.
that was it. That was his entire motive. Lewis Ashdown would be arrested the day he was found and later sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility.
Maybe
in
because they've been
25
showing
years.
like
While Mark's body was found dumped in
him
a
like
nearby
with
body of
like doing the
water,
selfie
and eventually
cam, so
given
I
a proper
thought he was
burial.
the main guy. Sorry.
Hi guys, I'm back here with Lewis, and we're going to do the water treatment facility.
With this context, Mark's channel is
You could see how I got confused, right? Because in the very beginning, when he's showing, like the very first clip is saying, "Hey guys, Lewis, I'm drinking with," you know. So I'm already assuming he's the main guy, like.
Just play.
utterly devastating.
All
He
right.
wanted was a friend to film videos with. But sure enough, as his mother had warned, he was trusting to a fault.
If you're going exploring at an abandoned pub, yeah, keep your mate with you. Make sure he's someone you can trust. You know.
So this is
and
Mark.
Be careful.
Which brings us to a disturbing revelation.
They look similar, bro.
Just months before he would kill Mark, Lewis was the one that encouraged him to get back out there and film with him. And based on his testimony that he had been wanting to kill Mark for a long time, it makes it very clear that he was doing this not to be a good friend, but to get Mark alone in an isolated spot so that he could carry out his plan. And adding more weight to this theory, when they visited the Buxted
That's
Hotel, which
crazy.
Lewis himself had suggested during the live stream, Mark was uncharacteristically drunk.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis.
Oh,
Drink.
so that was Mark talking in the
Smash
beginning.
this after we smash these.
Which was never really part of his channel before that upload. And Lewis was uncharacteristically nervous.
We're going to do a couple more bangers. Can't tell you what they are in case anyone's watching that shouldn't be watching. Usual thing. Well, no, I mean watching the videos, because I thought, yeah, I know that the police do watch my channel sometimes.
Paranoid even of being caught by the cops, despite being totally unfazed in previous videos, where in some he was literally being chased by security guards. And coincidentally, by the end of this video,
Alright, so I don't really know much about Call of Duty lore, right? I started playing around Call of Duty Black Ops, right? Because there are stories, like an overarching story in the Call of Duty games, right? So there's like a famous thing during Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, like, which I just looked up here. Like the betrayal or ghost death refers to a moment in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in which the player character Roach and Ghost are shot by General Shepard, thought to be an ally at a critical point in the game's plot. I don't know, I just, for some reason it just clicked with me, because during the night that he passes, he's wearing a Call of Duty Ghost sweater.
Anyway, watch him that shouldn't be watching.
So I don't know. Even though that's not Modern Warfare 2, but this is the game that follows after Modern Warfare 2.
Usual thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean watching the videos, because I thought, yeah, I know that the
That's
police
it.
do watch
That's all
my
I had
channel
to say.
sometimes.
paranoid even of being caught by the cops, despite being totally unfazed in previous videos, where in some he was literally being chased by security guards. And coincidentally, by the end of this video, we get an indication as to why Lewis was so nervous. Because he had been carrying a knife. All this leads me to believe that that night, Lewis pushed Mark to film a video in an abandoned location.
Okay,
then
I have a
got him
question.
drunk and was going to carry
What's
through
up?
with the murder.
Because you've done it, like exploring abandoned places.
Yeah.
I've gone with you and a group of people to abandoned places. Did you ever feel like at one point going to any of those places with any of these people, like, did you ever keep your eye on... Actually, there was that moment when we had the friend, remember? He was like, let's just turn off all the lights real quick. And it was like pitch black, and then we're like, okay, let's turn them back on. But it wasn't... But I remember in that moment, I was like, I remember like being like, like holding on to you, like, damn.
And if he's watching this, I don't know if he's subscribed to us, but he's a really cool guy. Shout out him if he knows what we're talking about. We went with him and like maybe two other people that we knew, right?
Yeah.
It was this abandoned insane asylum in Downey, and what she was saying, we went into like this big open room, and we had our phone lights on, and he told us to turn off the lights. I guess maybe he just wanted to see how it was.
No, it was like crazy.
But since
dark.
But since he had just started at our job, because we would go to these places with our coworkers and stuff. I think we only knew him for like a few weeks, so I guess I get what you're saying. Like, it's
and
kinda
where we were was like the morgue of it, or like where they would bring like, because remember it had like the furnace, like you could roll the bodies in and out. So it was like the morgue of it. So I was like,
But he ended up being really cool. So I mean, shout out him.
I liked when we all went though to
Like abandoned spots.
yeah with the group that we went to. Cause like, whew, shoot, when we almost got caught by security.
Maybe we should text him.
Yeah, I don't have his
Maybe.
number. Cause
I think
remember
I
I got
do.
my new phone, so.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no.
Because I think our other friend from work back then, I think he still talks to him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Before eventually backing out for unknown reasons. And all the while, Mark was completely unaware, never once suspecting that
Bless
the man
you.
he had been filming with had
Thanks.
secretly been plotting to kill him, and one day would actually go through with it.
Okay,
A
I'll
piece
back
of
it up
shit.
That's
now
sad,
then,
bro.
Guys. Yep, I'll see ya.
Aw.
Frey gently grows each diamond in our zero emission.
All right. Last story. Let's see.
Well, this should be quite amusing. Enjoy.
Joshua Brown started his YouTube channel back in 2010, a time when many individuals, including himself, used the site to upload random videos offering momentary glimpses into their lives. Joshua was in his mid-30s at the time and had recently finished serving in the Navy, before eventually settling down in Canton, Ohio, where he focused on his many passions. He loved driving, he loved technology, and he loved a little bit of danger. And soon, he became infatuated with a product that was essentially
We should go
the sum of
skydiving.
all three.
No.
Maybe one time.
Oh, Tesla? I was gonna say, is this like Elon Musk in like a different timeline?
I know.
For Joshua, these electric vehicles were a technological marvel and the future of the automotive industry, and he dreamed of one day having one. With that dream eventually coming true in 2015 when he would purchase his very own Tesla Model S that would eventually become his life and his YouTube channel's primary focus. He began uploading videos of his new car immediately, but rather than these focusing on the vehicle itself, it was its most controversial feature that interested him the most: autopilot. The feature had become available for Tesla drivers in October of 2015.
Can I
which is
just say this
exactly
real
when
quick?
Joshua purchased his
Which
car.
we've
Yeah,
talked about.
hate
I
seeing that.
fucking hate Tesla drivers. Oh
Yeah,
my
they're
god,
definitely
with
the
the passion,
new.
bro.
They're definitely the new BMW.
Oh
drivers.
my gosh, I fucking hate Tesla drivers. I feel like we've already said this before in like previous videos, so my opinion has yet to change. I fucking hate them. Especially too, like, a friend I have at work, before she left, like, she was telling me how somebody she knew had a Tesla, and how they'll do like the auto, like self-driving, like, you know,
Yeah.
autopilot, and how the Tesla has like the camera and it'll make sure you're looking like forward, you know. So what people do is they wear sunglasses so the camera can't pick up whether if you're looking forward or not.
Oh,
And then
wow.
it needs to also feel like your hands
So
gripping the wheel.
What happens if it doesn't see you looking for it? What does it do?
I think it'll maybe do something like I don't know, jolt, or I don't know what it does. It's something, it must happen. But then even with your hands need to be on the wheel. I don't know about when it first came out, maybe it didn't, but like, so people will buy like the things to put on the wheel so the car thinks you're holding onto the wheel, but it's actually nothing. Because I'm telling you, bro, like, Tesla drivers really be pissing me the fuck off because they park like dumbasses, and then two, they'll signal, right? And they take forever to merge. Go. Are you driving in the car? Because obviously both of y'all dumbasses, because if it's the car, it's going dumb slow, and if it's you, you're going dumb slow. Go merge. Why are you in the middle of the lane longer than you need to be?
Exactly. Like one time too, I was on the freeway and I just see some like young guy, probably like senior, like early college, and he's just like laid back, like this, just on his phone.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like, the only function I could see that, like, and I would actually maybe use it, is if, like, you're on a road trip and, you know, those long strips of, like, straight, like, going to Vegas or something. That's fine, because you don't have to turn or anything, you know? But, like, if you're in the city or, like, on the freeway, then, like...
I am curious, though. What is it that it's picking up? Is it the sensory? Like, what if all the cameras are broken?
Well,
like,
then,
what
yeah,
if...
I don't think...
No, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like
kind of like the driveless cars, like the Waymo. They have a bunch of cameras, you know, like all around, like spinning and like.
Well, didn't Elon even say, like, talk about that, like the pilot feature on the car, like, that's not even supposed to be used the way it's supposed to be used? Like, I thought he had said it's a possibility of you crashing or whatever. Like, you know, it's not that's not what it was intended for. Yeah.
It's probably meant for what I was just saying, like long drive, like, you know, long highway.
Showcasing its possibilities.
Fuck Tesla.
It takes all the stress out of it. Get to your destination slightly slower, but hey, at least now you don't have to worry about anything. It's just let it go.
He wanted to essentially be a pioneer, providing an overview of what self-driving was really all about, breaking down the specifics and showcasing a variety of unique situations that you might find yourself in if you were to use this driving mode yourself.
This section in here is going to be very, very difficult for the car to handle. We're filming this just so that you can see scenarios where the car does not do well, so that you've got something to judge off of it when you're driving on your own.
And he tried to make
Just
a point
drive
of
a
doing
car
so safely, as he never used the camera behind the wheel, and always had someone helping him to avoid any accidents. But despite his focus on safety, it was clear that he was pushing the capabilities of this brand new technology, as at this point it was still in its infancy, with one of the more glaring red flags being the placement of his hands.
Here we are, stop and go traffic on 271, and geez, car's doing it all itself.
When Joshua was shown driving, he hardly ever had his hands on the wheel, as he said he wanted to get the true experience of self-driving. This was something that Tesla had actually adamantly advised against, and even had visual and audible warnings if it detected that your hands were off the steering wheel. But Joshua seemed to find a workaround, as he instead used his legs to avoid tripping the sensor, while keeping his hands close by, ready to grab the wheel in case of an emergency.
I'm sorry too late at that point.
It is really actually hands-free. Is I keep my knees up because the tack works pretty good, but I can still get my foot down to a brake, and just keep it like this because you can react so quickly.
It was clear that Joshua truly believed that this car that was driving him was safe, and this belief was only strengthened on April 5th of 2016. That day, Joshua had been driving his car on the interstate when a large truck suddenly merged into his lane, with its driver not even seeing his car. And before Joshua could even react, the autopilot kicked in and veered out of the way, avoiding what would have been a certain collision. Amazed by the event, Joshua would upload dashcam footage of the close call to his YouTube channel, where he praised the vehicle's response. Tessie did great. Excellent job, Elon. This video would immediately go viral, exploding to over 4 million views between the two versions that Joshua had posted. But while the response to this video was overwhelming, especially for a channel that was accustomed to getting just a few hundred views, there was one response in particular that impacted Joshua the most. As Tesla's owner, Elon Musk, would repost the video on Twitter. Stunned by the tweet, Joshua would later state, "For something to catch Elon Musk's eye, I can die and go to heaven now." He had
that's
no
what
way
I
of knowing
did.
Then, but this would not be the last time that Elon Musk would tweet about him, though his next feature would be under much different circumstances. It happened just 1 month after Joshua Brown's video had gone viral. He was driving on Highway 27 on a clear sunny day at approximately 4 p.m. With open road ahead, Joshua turned on his trusted autopilot, and it stayed in autopilot mode for over half an hour, as at this point, his trust in the car was higher than ever, causing Joshua to seemingly lose focus on the road, as he was quickly coming up on an intersection where a massive 18-wheeler had been turning left, blocking Joshua's entire lane. Joshua was seemingly so unfocused that he didn't even notice it. Even stranger, the car itself didn't detect this either, despite the entire trailer being horizontal.
So I can't trust it.
This was due to its
although the
white
technology is probably a
body,
little
as the sun
better
was
now,
shining
but
so brightly against it that, for whatever reason, it became invisible to the self-driving AI. And with neither Joshua nor the car registering,
oh, that's scary though.
The vehicle would strike the trailer, going 74 miles per hour.
Oh, whoa.
There were no
Did you hear that?
No, whoa. So what
like
happened?
he said, because it was so sunny that the cameras probably couldn't pick up, like, you know, like
oh,
the
like
reflection.
yeah.
That, I didn't even think about that.
Of the steering
Oh, hell no.
And the brakes hadn't so much as been tapped. The collision happened at full speed, and it happened so fast that the car drove straight through underneath, shearing the entire top of the vehicle off, and continuing driving full speed down the road, before it would eventually crash to a halt. When the driver of the truck rushed over to see the damage, Joshua Brown was already dead, and the truck driver could hear nothing but the sound of Harry Potter.
You can own it on DVD and video. The adventure is bigger. The magic is stronger.
So he was watching...
Discovered in Joshua Brown's car was a DVD player, which many believe Joshua had used to watch Harry Potter while on that drive, thus explaining why he never reacted to the impending collision. Now, this is something that has been disputed by his family, and ultimately it doesn't seem to have been fully proven or disproven. But in the end, the fault of the accident was placed mainly...
Do you think it was a Chamber of Secrets, like he was showing the trailer? Because in that one, there's a self-driving, like, magic car.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, it's sad. He passed away. I understand. But, like, the family saying there needs to be improvements. Improvements on what?
I know. They already said don't, like, drive like
They're
that.
already saying that's not on that's not on them. Like, you're supposed to still pay attention. It's not like...
I think it's mostly so your feet don't have to do anything. It's just like you keep your hand on the wheel, and then it's supposed to, like, assist, like auto assist, like,
yeah,
drive,
like,
but not like fully automated.
That's not anything to do with the car or the manufacturer, because that's a really cool, like, feature on a car. But yeah, it's not one of those self-driving vehicles. I mean, I know you personally, like you said, like, we should get in one. I personally don't want
the
to.
Waymos?
I personally don't want to, because it's like I'm nervous about the Waymos, especially since they be in LA, like deep LA, like all the traffic, all the BS happening, the drivers, the way that some of those people drive.
Okay,
Fuck
how about
that.
we do it, but like just in a neighborhood, and then maybe like one like main
No,
street.
you could do that.
And then
I'll
that's
kiss you
fine.
goodbye because it might be the last time I ever see you, but like no.
And we'll be on one of these lists.
I don't want to be
Who had
like
made
in
that
those
left
cars.
turn,
I can't control
and Joshua
anything.
Brown, who had failed to pay attention to the road, as it was revealed that during his 37-minute drive, he only had his hands on the wheel for just 25 total seconds.
That's crazy.
Joshua Brown always wanted to be part of the innovation of Tesla's autopilot, and in doing so, he wrote himself into the history books as being the first person to ever perish in a self-driving accident. And while this is no
Well,
doubt a tragedy,
I guess that's
his death has led to numerous safety improvements and a better understanding of the self-driving technology that he had given his life to study.
That shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
They should have done
I just
the
wanted
test.
to hop on here at the end and give a quick shout out to my friend's new podcast called Redacted Declassified Mystery.
I feel like Tesla should have done the test. Like, not like, obviously they're already saying like don't use this feature. It's not like that.
Yeah.
But like a test in a sense of like, okay, what happens if it's really rainy? You know, if it's cloudy or foggy, you know, if the mist or whatever, like if the roads, if it's really shiny, you know what I mean? Because the sun's gonna reflect off the cars. The sun's gonna reflect if like the ground is like wet, you know, like on the water or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these factors come into play. If the cameras are dirty and covered in like smudge, like how does that work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one needs to be in the car per se, but they don't need to be like going 70 miles. It could just be a controlled like 25 miles per hour. You know, they're ready to grab the car, but like there's, you know, they're on like an empty lot or something. Nothing's there that could, you know. I don't know. That's crazy though.
I get you. Alright guys, well, that was a good video. Like I said, we're back for good, so we're going to be uploading a lot more, so look out for that. Leave a like if you liked. Subscribe. I'll leave the link below for Nick Crowley's video. Obviously, subscribe to him. He's one of the GOATs. And that's it. See you guys next time. Peace.
Don't drive like a dumbass, please.
Yep.
Tesla drivers talking to you.
Yep. Peace.